Good evening, guys and girls. We got Brian, we got Keith, we got Tim, you got yours truly, Rob. We've got Harris listening to a Christian concert tonight, and we got our man Mike. We are praying for you, my friend. We know you had surgery on Monday, so I sent you an email. Mike, if you're
Got
out
an
there,
ornery cat right here too.
and a cat there too, but he's got two cats, but one's
one's right here,
and
she might make some noises.
So, Mike, Daniel Berry, happy Wednesday to you as well. So, Michael, if you're out there, do try to get in touch with us. We'll start in advance and let you know that Brian is in a TourCon. You say 4 or 5? 5 area. So he could very, very easily, we could actually lose him tonight for a little while. If we do, we'll get his picks. We promise you that for that. Let's go back to last week in college. Notre Dame just buried Navy. Rob and Tim got that. Washington, Indiana put a whipping on Washington, 31-17. Brian, Keith, and Mike got that one. Oregon beat up on Illinois. Rob, Michael, and Harris got that. BYU and the UCF. BYU took care of business. Everybody but Michael got that pick. LSU, A&M. A&M took care of business. Keith, Michael, Harris did well there. SMU and Duke. Duke got the points. They only lost by a point to SMU, and everybody across the board got that. And Boise State took care of business. Slid by on Friday night against UNLV, won by 5 points, 3.5-point favorite. Everybody got that one all the way across the board. We'll have 8 college football games for you tonight. And me and Brian already know the totals already, so we'll start with us, and we'll go one way, and then we'll go the other way. So the other two guys on the bottom of the screen can get their odds and stuff, get things together. We will start with Brian. We got Duke. They're traveling to Miami this week. Miami is a 20-point favorite, 54.5. Brian, take it away.
Duke has played a lot of close games. All but 2 of their games have been one-score games. They're pretty physical on defense, and they're hyper aggressive. They have forced 14 fumbles, like Miami's only forced 1 fumble all year. So I think they will definitely come after Miami, which can work in their favor, or if Miami's prepared, and it could work against them. Cam Ward is probably second or third in Heisman discussion. He's having a good year. They're tough teams, though. They've played close games to them with Louisville. Cal was a close game. Virginia Tech was a close game. Mm-hmm. So in this game, I've got Duke falling to Miami. I think Miami meets the challenge, and they stay undefeated 35-19.
But you'll take Duke in the points.
Yeah.
All right, Brian, 35.
21 is way too many points for that game.
35-19 is 35, 45, 54, 54.5. You'll go under the total then. We will go now to Keith. Keith, Duke, Miami, a 20-point favorite at home.
Well, I'll take Duke with the points, and I'll go under.
All righty. Tim.
Yeah, I'm agreeing. That's way too many points for this game. Duke to cover, Miami to win. And go under.
All right. And nobody wants to throw any scores out?
I think Brian might have. He did.
35-19 is what I said. Miami.
Yeah. And, I'm with you guys. Yeah, Duke is not going to lose to this team by 20. I think they're going to be in the game in the fourth quarter, 24-17. I'll say Miami wins the ball game. I'll go under the total. All of us went under the total there. We got Texas A&M, 3.5-point favorites, traveling to South Carolina, 46 and a hook. I'll start this one right here. South Carolina, they have lost 4 players for the rest of the year. 3 of them are on defense. You can't have that happen. If I realize injuries are part of the game, this and that and all that. But when you're a mediocre SEC team, and you're playing one of the top level SEC teams, can't have that happen. 3.5 that's a joke. I'll take A&M 31, South Carolina 10. I'll go under the total. Also, let me tell you this one. Harris with Duke, he went under the total. This one right here, Harris took A&M and went over the total. Tim, I'm sorry. Tim.
Yeah, it's a thing of where Texas A&M is just better. And South Carolina had their nice little games. Okay, yeah, they're probably doing better than what they thought. But I think Texas A&M will smash this 3.5 points, and I think they will go over the total.
All right, Keith.
I'll go with A&M to win and
Cover.
yes, cover. I forgot what you said the total was.
46 and a hook.
46 and a hook. I'll go over.
All right. We got Brian.
All right, Texas A&M has two quarterbacks they've been playing. Wakeman is questionable; he's their starting quarterback, but Reed's their backup guy, and he has been playing, and he's been pretty good. So they're not falling off there. The offense is also led by Levy and Moss. I think this could be an ugly game. I think this could be an ugly game with a lot of defense. Both teams allow 18 points per game. South Carolina, they are missing some pieces, and who knows how good the backups are. I know in Missouri, their backups, like the backup quarterback, was terrible. So I don't know how good their backups are. They just did blow out OU. Their defense is led by Kyle Kennard. I've got Texas A&M winning a close one, 21-20. So I'm under.
So you'll take South Carolina. You'll take South Carolina in the under.
Yeah.
All right.
A&M winning the game, South Carolina in the points.
All right. Next, we got Pittsburgh. Pitt. They're 8-0. They're traveling to 7-1 SMU. This is a huge ACC matchup. SMU at home is a 7-point favorite. 59 points is the total. And we go to Brian here.
Well, Pittsburgh just come off a 28-point win over Syracuse, which is decent. And they've got two good quarterbacks, Eli Holstein, and Kevin Jennings. Let's see. SMU, they played and beat some fairly good teams. They beat TCU. They beat Louisville. They beat Duke. Mm-hmm. They only lost to BYU by 3. It's their only loss.
Yep.
I think SMU will be more physical than Pitt. And also they play clean. They're only averaging 2 penalties per game. I look for SMU's defensive line to beat Pittsburgh's questionable offensive line. And I got SMU winning the game 33-30. So
you'll take Pittsburgh and you'll go the over.
Yeah.
All right. Keith.
I think I'm going to go the opposite of that. I'm going to go with SMU to cover and under.
All righty. Keith goes SMU, cover 7 points, and the under. Tim.
I think Pitt's got enough. Well, I mean, their defense scored 21 of their points last week. So you wonder really how really good is that Pittsburgh offense? I mean, if the defense scored about half, just over probably half the points, it seemed like it. That's not going to happen this week, I don't believe. So I think this is a time where, I mean, it's at Southern Methodist. Yeah.
That SMU.
Yeah.
Any debate, I'll go with the home team. I don't think they'll cover 8.5?
7.
7. No. I'll throw out a let's try like 30 to 24.
30 to 24. Tim takes takes Pitt and the under.
Mm-hmm.
But you say SMU wins. But you say SMU wins straight up.
Yes.
Welcome,
Sean,
Sean. Oakland.
do you think the Dodgers close the World Series out tonight? I don't.
Garrett Cole
hello,
pitches
Sean.
tonight.
Jay Hardy,
Garrett
hello.
Garrett Cole's pitching tonight. I think they're going to win it at home, Game 6. That's my opinion.
And hello,
We'll see
Philip.
what happens. First off, we'll give Harris. Harris went with Pittsburgh in the under. I didn't get a score, but Brian does have a score. I'm one right here. I've kind of watched a little bit of both teams play this year, and they both scare me a little bit. I think they. If I didn't watch a game and the final score is 45-20, I wouldn't be surprised if either one of these teams won by 25. That's the weird part. Both of these teams can put up a lot of points, and both of them can give up a lot of points. SMU's at home. Pitt's going to travel. I know they're not going all the way across the country, Mike, but we'll still say they're going halfway across the country. So we'll do that anyway. I'm going to go 31-23. I'm going under the total. I'm going to take SMU, and I'll give up the 7 points. I think they're going to win by a touchdown. I think they will. Next one we got is Oregon at Michigan. Oregon's a 14.5-point favorite, 45.5. And I'll start with this one, and I'll tell you this. Michigan, since the start of the season, has slowly went down the ski slope. And Oregon has been going up it and then not only that, they're jumping from one mountain to the next. Oregon's the best team in the country right now. I think right now you can put them on a neutral field with anybody. Texas, Ohio State, Penn State, Georgia, anybody. I don't care who. I think they could beat anybody right now. They may not be able to in 6 weeks. Right now, they could beat anybody. They are going to tear into Michigan like bad, bad boys. 37-16. Oregon whips Michigan. Gives them they're going to put them over their knee in Michigan. I'm going to enjoy watching that one. I'll go under the total. Harris is taking Michigan and the points, and he's going over the total this week. We got a 10.
Yeah, with the fact that Michigan's offense has been scarce. Well, to put it nicely. I mean, the way that Oregon boat raced Illinois for a half, that was all they needed to. I'll take Oregon, and I'll go over.
All right. So Oregon covers, and you'll go over.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah, and Oregon did that to Illinois. Was it 1 week after Illinois beat Michigan? So, I mean, it wasn't that long ago. Michigan lost to the team at Oregon, just crushed. I guess I'll go with Oregon and
14.5. Yeah, and then 45.5. 45.5.
Yeah, I'll go over.
All right.
I hate going over a lot, but
Good for it, Brian.
All right, Rob, as you said, Michigan is a descending team. They've lost 2 of their last 3 games, losing to Washington and Illinois. And Oregon, on the other hand, you think of the time zone test, teams flying over multiple time zones, and that doesn't hurt Oregon. They've already done it 3 times this year, and they blew out all 3 opponents. Dylan Gabriel is throwing for 76%, 2,371 yards, and 18 touchdowns. All 3 of those categories lead the nation. And the running back, Jordan James, has rushed for 800 yards. They've got the firepower to go in and take care of Michigan. I've got Oregon winning 28-18.
Oh, okay. So you will take Michigan in the points, though.
I see. Oregon's 14.
And a
14
half.
Yeah, I'm taking Michigan in the points, but Oregon winning game.
All right. And you're going under the total. All right. Next, we have
Michigan's got an interior defensive line. That's going to be a matchup problem for the middle of Oregon's line. The 3 guys in the middle of Oregon's line, they're kind of average. 2 tackles are very good.
I think what they have to worry about is the running back and wide receiver speed that Oregon has. They just possess so much speed. And speed kills is what I've always heard. We'll see. Texas Tech, the Red Raiders, heading to Iowa State. Iowa State is still undefeated, right? Yes, sir. They are undefeated. Iowa State's 14.5-point favorites in this ball game. 57. Brian.
Okay, see, Iowa State and Texas Tech. No defense at Texas Tech. They're 123 in the nation. And they basically have one player on offense, Taj Brooks, who's outstanding, 925 yards rushing. But I don't think that's going to be enough for Iowa State. Rocco Beck is having a good year. Iowa State's defense is 9th in the country. They're not great at stopping runs, so, that could be good news for Taj Brooks. But on defense, they have intercepted 12 passes. They need a better pass rush. I've got Iowa State winning this game easily, though, 38-20.
38-20. Brian and the over just over. Heath.
I'll go with Iowa State to cover. I guess I'll go with another over.
All right.
I can't believe I'm doing that.
Tim.
Yeah, Iowa State should cover this. I'll still take Iowa State to cover, and I'll go under.
You're going under?
Mm-hmm.
Under, Tim?
Yes, under. Yes.
All right. Gotcha. Last game prior to this, Oregon, Michigan. Harris took Michigan and the over. I don't know if I told anybody that or not.
Yeah, you did.
This game, Harris took Texas Tech and the under. And I just think it's going to be a little closer than 14.5, 34-21. So I'm going Texas Tech covers, but they don't win. Iowa State will stay undefeated and go under the total. The next one we got is Air Force at Army. Army is a 23.5-point favorite. 41's the total, though. 23.5-point favorites and only 41 total points. Harris went with Army, and he went with the over here. I'm going to easily take Army here. Army, I'm not sure they can easily cover, but they're going to beat this team bad. Air Force will not see the end zone. I'll say that. 31-6, and that's 25 points, so that's 23.5 easily. I'll take Army and the under. Tim.
I kind of took the words right out of my mouth because the Air Force is 1-6, so they're not very good, and I don't think Army will need their ball control offense. I think they can probably get a couple long ones to, so I'll take Army and let's hit the over.
All right. Keith.
Yeah, I'll agree with Tim on that one. Another over. Man, I usually don't do that many overs.
Brian.
Air Force has one win, and that was not an FBS team. So I do think their defense might be as physical as Army's. Their defense has forced 11 fumbles. Army's only forced 1 fumble. But Army's got their quarterback, Bryson Daly. He's run for 909 yards, passed for 629. He's a star. And their defense is ball hawking. They've intercepted 8 passes. I think Army wins easily, 38-10.
So Brian will go.
So that's an over.
Army and over, yep. Next we go to Indiana, undefeated. We were talking about this team before we came on the air. They're 7-point favorites. Going to Michigan State, 51's a total. Brian, have at it.
I love this Indiana team. They've beaten all their opponents easily. Closest, they have 2 14-point games, wins over Washington and Maryland. Slaughtered Nebraska by 49, and Nebraska took Ohio State into the fourth quarter. So Indiana is very talented. Their quarterback Rourke is good, but he's questionable. But fortunately, the backup has been good too. Michigan State defense is not as physical. They forced 3 fumbles as opposed to Indiana's forcing 7. They got 15 sacks. Indiana's 21 sacks. And they give up fully 1 more yard per rush attempt than does Indiana. People don't know about Indiana, even though they're undefeated. Well, I think they are a real power. I'm taking Indiana 32-20 over Michigan State.
32-20. All right. Keith.
I think Indiana will cover, but I think they'll win by about 10. Maybe like 27-17. I'll go under on that one.
All right. So Keith will take Indiana in the under. Tim.
I think this is where Indiana doesn't quite have the same output as they did against Nebraska, but still pretty good. I'll say 42-13, Indiana.
42-13. That's Tim and his over. Harris went Indiana and over. And the only reason I'm not going over on this total, I don't know where Michigan State's going to find their points in this game. Indiana's not their front 7 is bad boys. They are bad boys. I still think they're going to lose somewhere, but they're bad boys right here. Michigan State, a night game. This is going to show this team off. 35-10. I like Indiana. I will go under the total. The big game of the week right here. Ohio State, 4-point favorites going to Penn State. Happy Valley is ready for them. It's a 3:30 start, I think, Eastern time, so it's not a night game.
It is a noon game. It's a noon game.
Oh,
Big
okay.
noon.
It's not a night game then.
11 Central.
Oh, okay. 47 is a point total, and by it not being a night game, I like Ohio State in this ball game. I think Ohio State wins this game. I think it might be one of the tightest games of the week. Neither team gets 20. 19-14. I'll take Ohio State. I'll go with the under. Harris went just the opposite way. He went Penn State and the over. Tim.
See, my problem is that Ohio State's offense does not look great. Didn't look great. Even coming off a bye week, they didn't look that great against Nebraska. So you wonder if teams watch a little film. So I'm going to go Penn State 23, Ohio State 20.
23-20, and here we'll go under the total. Keith.
What's your spread? 3.5?
4 points, Ohio State.
4 points. This is one of those games. I'm going to take Ohio State to win, but not cover. And I'll go under.
All right. So Keith takes Ohio State to win, not cover there. So we'll take the Penn State side and go on the under. Brian.
I watched the Nebraska-Ohio State game last week, and I thought Nebraska played the game much too conservatively. They thrown the ball downfield more. I think they would have been better off. Had they put more pressure on Ohio State's offense, they would have been better off. Ohio State's got some problems on the offensive line. The left tackle, Josh Simmons, he's out. I think he's out for the season. That's a problem. OSU's got a great defense, no doubt about it. They're 4th in the nation, and they got the 2 best receivers on the field, Smith and Egbuka, are better. Love the quarterback, Will Howard, love him. But Penn State, they got a quarterback too, Drew Allar. He's a game-time decision, and if he can't play, Penn State doesn't win this game. But I think
they're saying right now doubtful is what they've got him up as as of this moment. Doubtful.
Yeah, he's listed as doubtful. But I heard a couple hours ago that they said they're going to do a game time decision.
Okay.
By the way, their coach James Franklin, the Penn State coach, showed up in Kansas City. He helicoptered into a high school game in Mill Valley last Friday night because he signed Mill Valley's linebacker. And that was pretty cool to see him drop in that high school game by helicopter. I've watched Penn State a couple times this year too, and their offensive line is synced up. Their run blocking is it's like watching precision diving or dancing. It's really impressive. Also, their offense is very impressive. Their OC is Andy Kotelanecki, who used to be Kansas's OC last year. Kotelanecki spent a lot of his 2 summers ago with Andy Reid, and he really transferred KU's offense last year. KU has lost him to Penn State, and it shows.
Yeah.
The thing that with Kotelanecki, he usually starts slow and kind of see what he can do, and then he opens it up in the second, third, and fourth quarters. I don't think he can do that. That's what Nebraska did, and it never opened up for Nebraska. I think he's going to have to start a little more aggressively. But I believe Penn State's going to get the job done. I got Penn State 24, Ohio State 22. So they don't cover, but they win.
Penn State, you say Penn State wins?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, they don't have to cover. They're not favorite.
Oh, yeah, Ohio State, that's right. Ohio State's favorite.
Yeah, Ohio State's favorite. Yep.
Yeah.
All right. We're going over to week 9 of pro football this week. Let's see. Right here. Mike got 8 right. Mike got 11 right. Harris got 8. Tim got 8. Rob got 8. Oh, let's see. Is that right? Is that right? No. I'm wrong. I got you right here. Harris got 11 right. Brian got 9. Keith got 9. Tim got 6. Mike got 8. I got 7 right. The over-unders for the week. Let's see. Over-unders. I think we did a little better. Tim was 7. Keith was 6. Harris was 8. Mike was 7. Rob with 9. Brian with 10. Over-unders this week. So, we're going to start with let's start with Keith right here. Thursday night, we got the Texans. We got the Jets. Jets are 2-point favorites right now.
Why?
I can tell you why.
There's reasons.
Top 2 receivers out for Houston.
Yep, that's one of them.
Oh, okay. Well, I thought I saw Rodgers might not play though.
Rodgers is still on. He is right now probable for that.
Well,
but he's hurt. He said he was hurt though. Now, he did not practice Tuesday. He did not practice, but that don't mean nothing with him. So, Texans, Jets 2-point favorites, 42 points. Have at it, Keith.
Well, I'm still going to go with the Texans and give the points, but I'll go with the under since that detail emerged about the receivers being hurt.
Yeah, gotcha. Tim.
Yeah, because the Michigan kid's on IR and Diggs is out for a couple of weeks.
Okay.
So
I think Diggs is out for the season.
Oh, he's out for the season? I thought it was like a week-to-week thing.
It's torn ACL or something like that.
Okay. Probably
it's Nico Collins that'll be coming back.
Nico Collins, yeah. That's
but not this
They
week.
still have a good tight end that they can throw to. They got Mixon, who's been tremendous this year. And that should be enough to control the game. That's why I'll take the Texans in the under.
All right, Tim takes Texans in the under. We will give you right now Harris. He took the Texans, and he went over the total. Look, it's going to be a close ball game. I really think it will be. I got Texans winning a last-second field goal, 23-21, and that just does put it over the total. Brian.
Last week, Mixon had another 100-yard game, and they're going to need him to have a 100-yard game this week coming up with the hurt receivers. It's a Diggless offense now. Stroud had a bounce-back game. He threw for 285 yards. Laura and I was talking about it last week. The Jets are just a dysfunctional organization. They moved, and Robert Saleh, since he's been fired, I don't think he's wiped a smile off his face. So I was talking about that today, and they said they can't find a picture where he's not smiling since he's been fired. and he's helping Cleveland coaching. So the dysfunction of balance since the DC was moved to head coach, their defense has disappeared, and he's not getting the overall. They're not getting a head coach like they should be getting. That plume of smoke you see over New York is all the Aaron Rodgers jerseys that people are burning. They're kind of off that train. I got Houston winning this game 24-18 in spite of the 2 hurt receivers.
24-18. That is right on 42. You want to go up a point and down a point?
Let's go up a point.
24-19 or 25-18?
25-18.
25-18.
One more point of dysfunction from New York.
New York has not been a good place for Rodgers because that's where the draft was when he was sliding down, wasn't it?
That's where he was at last year when he got hurt too. So
yeah, right.
Yeah, Tim. Sunday afternoon, rather. The Saints, that powerhouse of a team that's lost 6 in a row. They're 7-point favorites this week. They're going to Carolina, 43.5. Go for it, brother.
And that's probably the only reason they're 7 points favorites is because they are facing Carolina. And let's just say this, the Saints are less of a dumpster fire than the Panthers are. And just, wow, their season cannot end quickly enough. Boy, that's right on the number where I want to be is for 7.
Yeah.
Well, then again, did they whoop them in week 1, the Saints? I think they did.
I think so.
Let's see.
So I don't say they will whoop them, but at least
I think they scored 50-something points.
47-10 at home.
Oh.
Yeah, this is on the road, so it won't be that bad. But
and they had Carr.
They had Shaheed, and they also had
Carr is doubtful, but he is active. He is doubtful this week, but he is active.
Taysom Hill's
I'll say like 20-10 then.
20-10, you'll take his Saints.
Yes.
And you'll go with the under. All right. I'll tell you right now, Harris took the Panthers, and he went with the over in this game. And Rob is not only going to take the Panthers, I'll take those 7 points. I'm not going to need them. They're going to win outright this week. They're going to win their second game. They got to win somewhere along the way. I think this is a place they can do it. It's supposed to be a little cooler and a little bit of wind this weekend. Saints don't play the same outside, so we'll see what happens. 20-18, Panthers win, and I'll go under the total. Brian.
They're still saying see you in September in New Orleans. Those 2 weeks in New Orleans seem like it's been a decade ago when they scored 90 points. But overall, I think they've got just way too much talent for Carolina with Kamara, Matthew. I like Saunders a lot at defensive tackle. Olave. Carolina's back to their miniature quarterback, Bryce Young, who was so-so last week, about 220 yards, 2 interceptions, 2 touchdowns. But they don't have their best wide receiver. They just traded him away, Deontay Johnson. Yeah. He's gone. So I've got the Saints winning the game, but not covering. New Orleans 25, Carolina 23.
25-23, Panthers and over. All right. Keith.
I think the Saints will win, but they won't cover, and I'm going to go under.
All righty. We're going to go. Was it to me now? Or was it?
Tim, I forgot this.
Who you.
Who did you go with, Tim?
I went with the Saints in the under.
He said 20-10. 20-10. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right.
Coming to me now, Commanders. Going to the Giants. And boy, oh boy, me and Keith sat and watched a video last night of this guy that keeps YouTube updated on the Bears. And he is ready not only for the coach to go, Eberflus, but he's ready for the offensive coordinator. He came from Seattle. Now, my question is this. was that offensive coordinator there when they played in the Super Bowl and they decided to throw the ball from the 1 yard line? If he is,
I don't know.
If he is, I don't blame if 10 Bears fans get him and throw him in the lake up there and put a brick on his foot. And,
yeah, because he could have decided to do that too, hand the ball off to a backup guard in the Super Bowl instead of give it to the free.
He's blown it twice at the goal line. If he was the offensive coordinator for Seattle back then, that's a question mark. But you don't get one chance there. You should be out the door. Commanders won a game they should not have won. They just should not have. That's a game.
I think you could make that argument for either team had they won in that one. I mean, because the Bears got all played for 3 quarters.
When it gets to that last play of the game, though, there's no excuses for it. And I mean,
right.
it's just terrible coaching. It was a lot of that part.
It was terrible coaching and terrible for the cornerback to not have his head in the game and realize that he's got to be the back man on that play.
And he's the guy that tipped
if you see the ball, you got a man to cover. You cover
he's watching the crowd doing this right here to him.
And then he was the guy that tipped the ball before it got caught.
But Keith, that probably wasn't supposed to be his responsibility. He was supposed to cover Brown in the end zone.
Yeah, right. That's what I mean. But
if you can't get to the ball, get to the man. Because that ball is a yard short of the end zone.
Yeah,
Harris is liking the Commanders. In fact, he's got them on the top 3 on the scale right now in the NFL. He's got them in top 3. He's going Commanders and under the total here. I really suffered with this one because I know there's not been a bigger thorn in the side of the Commanders in the last 3 years than Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones he's put up some good games against us, but I just think the Commanders are a different team now than they were then. 23-18, I am taking the Commanders. They'll cover the 3.5, and I'll go under the total. Brian.
Jalen Daniels is limited practice. He's listed as day-to-day.
Yeah.
But as Vince Scully said, aren't we all day-to-day? Up front, the front 7 for Washington they're getting better week to week. Mm-hmm. They've got a legit defense these days. It's a short week for the Giants. And if Daniel Jones throws, we talked about this last week, if Daniel Jones throws a touchdown pass at home, it'll be the first one in about 690 days.
Yeah.
So I don't think that's going to happen. I'm picking Washington 26-16.
26-16. 42, you'll go under the total. Keith.
Yeah. And something I was encouraged with, Kurt Warner was getting asked about Caleb Williams' performance in that game. And he said that he didn't think Williams really played that bad, although he missed throws early in the game. He said he didn't have anybody getting open. Washington was just covering their receivers very well. That's a good sign because that's something we haven't had with Washington, especially the last 2 years.
Yeah.
Williams only had about 36 yards passing through most of the
through
3 quarters, and then he got
100 in the fourth quarter.
He had 94 in the last quarter. Yeah, so he got his 126.
I like how the coaching stays rather aggressive too for Washington overall. I mean, I know Rob was getting frustrated that they weren't running the ball more in this late part of the game, but I kind of like to keep my foot on the pedal a little bit. Giants do give us fits. I don't know if that's going to continue this week or not. It's in New York. Giants are kind of struggling right now. And I think we're playing a lot better than we did the first time we played them, especially on the defensive side. I'm concerned about – we had another game where we couldn't seem to get in the end zone very often. That was the first game against the Giants. And they have a pass rusher. Brian, I don't know if you can. I know they got. Don't they have a guy that leads the league in sacks or something like that? I think I heard that. The guy is.
Defensive tackle Lawrence.
Yeah, he clobbered Wilson one time, and I'm thinking, oh man, I hope he doesn't get to Daniels like that. But
he's also a very funny guy. If you ever listen to him mic'd up, he's hilarious.
Well, we do have a decent backup quarterback that's conservative. Anyway, all the talking, I'm going to go with Washington to cover. I'm thinking it's going to be like 23-17, so I'm going to go with an under.
All right. Tim.
I mean, I'm impressed that the Giants kept that game within 8 points. Well, if they kept that a one-score game, because that Pittsburgh defense is really good.
Mm-hmm.
And who knows? It's a divisional game, and there's some pride there. That being said, I just think Washington's at least going to cover that measly little spread. But I think it'll go under.
All right. We'll go to Brian now. The Dolphins heading to the Bills. Tua is he is listed as he's going to go, it looks like. Bills 6-point favorites right now. 50 is the total.
All right. Last week, Miami was out physical by Arizona, and they're just not playing well. And now they're going to have winter road games coming up, which they usually don't play well on those either. Buffalo is one of the scariest, probably the scariest offense in the AFC to me. The wide receivers, Shakur, Coleman, Kincaid, to go with Amari Cooper. Those are some receivers. And then on defense, DeMar Hamlin, the guy that lost his life on the football field, he's actually probably their best defensive player right now, numbers-wise. He's playing well. 2 interceptions, 5 pass breakups, and he's second on the team in tackles. Okay, I think Buffalo is going to win this game. Let me find this on my paper here. Yeah, 32-10. It's going to be an easy win, Buffalo.
You'll go under the total. All right. Keith.
Yeah, I was just thinking of a score. 31-17 Buffalo, so that'll be under.
It would be. Tim will take Buffalo in the under. And Tim.
Buffalo's easily the better team here. It's something just lost sync. They have Tyreek Hill, but he's not done anything. Probably because you double team him, and who else do they have? Nobody. And the running game is completely gone off the rails as well. So I'll say Buffalo 37, Miami 13.
That's 50.
All right, so we'll go 37-14 then.
37-14? All right. Good deal. So you go over.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. 37-14. Harris likes the Bills here, and he's went with the over. And you know what? I just think Miami's going to start scoring points now, but they're not going to score enough to beat Buffalo in Buffalo when it's starting to snow. And they got some measurable snow 2 days this past week. So it's already snowing in New England, folks. It's already snowing in Maine and New Hampshire. I got a friend up there, and they got a couple inches of snow Saturday night. So we'll see what happens. This is going to be a lot of fun to watch. I think Miami will give a fight for them. 30-23. I'll go over the total, but I will take the Bills to win and to cover. We're going to Keith. We got the Chargers. They're 2-point favorites going to the Browns. 42 is the total.
Boy. Now it's like, okay, Browns showed that they're capable of winning a game. Chargers have played better with Harbaugh. I don't find myself doing this too much as far as home field advantage this year, but I think I'll do that with this one. I'll go ahead and go with Cleveland to.
They can win outright?
Yeah.
Win outright?
Yeah.
Okay.
And
42.
I'll go with the under on that. I just think it'll be a defense win more than anything else.
All right. Tim.
You should thank their lucky stars that Hamilton dropped that interception right before the touchdown, because he intercepts that game's over. And
they dropped 5 in the game.
Yeah. And including one that hit the receiver right in the face mask when he,
yeah, I watched it.
It was from shadow to sunlight. So that was, I'll give him a little bit of a pass on that one. But
yeah.
It's a big ball.
What's that?
It's a big ball.
It is. It is. But see, my problem is that I think this is the week that sort of Winston goes back to his 30 interception season. I think the Chargers might pick him off a few times. And so because of that, I don't think that I mean, Chubb didn't look the greatest, so I don't think the Browns' run blocking is there yet. So I'll say the Chargers, and probably a close one. I'll say 24-20. Please don't have that be on the right on the total.
That's 2 points. Oh, no, 24-20. 24-20. Oh, you got it. You good. You good. You good.
Okay.
You're 2 over by 2.
Over by 4. I thought it was 22. I thought it said 22-20.
Oh,
24-20. So that is Chargers and the over. Harris took Chargers in the over in this game. Rob is not. Browns have a defense. I think they got a legit top 5 defense in the NFL. I've seen them this past week. They beat up that quarterback for the Ravens. I mean, they actually beat him up. He walked off that field. I think he was glad the game was over with. They thoroughly beat them for 60 minutes, and they barely squeaked by. And none of that happened because of their quarterback. It was all because there was a defensive 13 to 14 guys they had on defense. They played excellent. They were all over. They let the running back run a couple of big runs, but he's going to do it anyway. He is that good. I don't care who you play it. But they didn't let Jackson loose, and they're not playing Jackson this week. They're playing the clown from Chargers. Yeah. The Browns win this. They win double digits, and they're going to score 20 again. 23-13. I'll take the Browns. I'll go under the total. Brian.
It's Halloween. It appears that Bernie the Elf, he's alive. He's alive.
Brownie.
Cleveland is very blitz heavy, but if they're going to blitz the Chargers, they're going to have to limit the Chargers' run game. And Jim Harbaugh is not changing his approach. Harbaugh's approach has been this way all year long, and it'll stay this way: is run the ball and stop the run. That's Harbaugh's approach. Jameis Winston threw the ball for 334 yards. It's also important that he changed the OCs. Ken Dorsey's calling the plays now, not Stefanski. So, to me, this was a very even game and hard to pick. But I think Jim Harbaugh is a pretty good coach. I think he'll have it figured out. I got the Chargers 20 and the Browns 17.
All right. So, Brian will go Chargers in the under. All right. We're going to Tim. We got the Patriots. They're heading on the road to go play Tennessee down in Nashville. Titans are 3.5-point favorites. 38 is the total for this game, boys and girls. So just pack your points along with you if you're going to go watch this game. Because if you don't bring some with you, you probably
that wasn't the flex game this week.
No, that was the Philadelphia game. That was the flex game.
Philadelphia is the flex game, and then became the Colts Vikings. Colts Vikings is a Sunday night game.
I figured would think that would be a high ratings game there.
Which one is that? The Patriots Titans?
Yeah, I mean, dude, stars everywhere.
I'll flip you the bird in an hour after we go.
All right.
I mean, the Titans can't look. I mean, the Lions just took them out behind the woodshed and took them back there again in one game. But they can't be that bad, can they? I mean, both teams don't have anything for offense. But I think the Patriots' defense is better. So I'll say they'll win 16 to 9.
16-9. Tim likes that. At stout 16-9 game, he'll go under the total. Harris also took the Patriots in this ball game and went under the total with it. Look, I'm like this about it. The Patriots, they've won a couple of games. They beat Cincinnati at Cincinnati. They beat the Jets, so they have played teams that can throw the football. And the Titans can't throw the football. The Titans suck, man. 3.5. If I was going to, I'm going to tell you right now. Me and Harris were talking about it. I said it is the Patriots' favorite by 3.5. No, it's the Titans. I can't believe that. Even I would give 3.5 in this game. That's how well I like it. This game, 20-16. I think the Patriots outright win this game. I think NFL got this one wrong. I will go Patriots and under. Harris went Patriots and under. Brian.
I like both of these teams. Tennessee gave us D. Hopkins, and New England just gave us Josh Uche. So I like both these teams. For practically nothing, both of these teams. One was like a 2026.
Merry Christmas.
It's been Merry Christmas. Uche is not a run stopper, but he can rush the passer. New England responded to their coach calling them soft last week, and that did show some character. I'm not 100% sure Drake May is not playing. He's coming off a concussion.
He's out this week.
Oh, he's
out.
Brissett took the majority of the snaps.
Jacoby Brissett is playing this week. Yeah,
they're going to have to run the ball with Stevenson, and Tennessee is fairly good at run defense. So, but they've given up 86 points the last 2 weeks. Tennessee just sort of shows up. They punch the clock, collect their check. Their defense has 1 interception all year, and they forced 4 fumbles. They're just not doing anything. Used to think of Tennessee's defense as something you'd fear, but not anymore. I got New England winning this game 22-21.
22-21.
Is Rudolph playing again for Tennessee?
No, pardon?
Rudolph?
Yeah, Rudolph is the backup. Yeah, he's the backup.
Rudolph. They're going to start Rudolph, but they're saying they may have a quick hook with Rudolph this week if he doesn't play well early.
Levis has been practicing, so I think he's available.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens.
Wow. I actually have to pick one of these. I'll take, since I'm getting points, I'll take New England. I'd take them to win too, though.
38.
Well, I'll go over because I'm going to say there's going to be a few sloppy touchdowns or something. Just
fumbles,
tackles, fumbles, interception returns.
It could be.
Yeah.
Coming to me now, the Cowboys.
And maybe that'll be a game where, and I don't know if there's been one yet this year, but a kickoff return for a touchdown.
Yeah, Cincinnati had one.
Yeah,
Cincinnati. Yeah. Okay, there might be one in this game.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Cowboys heading to Atlanta to play the Falcons. Falcons are 2.5-point favorites in this game, 52. And Harris took the Cowboys in the points and went under the total. Rob is going to do the very same thing. And look, you can say what you want to about the Cowboys. They have to stop fighting. And the Falcons, to me, the Seahawks and 2 or 3 other teams, you just don't know. You just pull something out of a bag and you get it that week. 0. Oh, 33. Okay, what are we going to score this week? 6. This week, 17. That's the way they are. The Saints, I mean, the Falcons are capable of scoring 45 points.
Hey, Rob, I'm going to have to get back with you later. I got some water leaking out of the dishwasher here.
All right, I got you, my friend. I got you.
Right.
I'll get back with you.
All right.
So me and Keith, we'll get back together there. Brian, how's your weather holding up right now so far?
Yeah, it has not started yet, so we're good.
Well, that's good. You know what? I like Cowboys straight up in this game pretty easy. 27-15. And that is under the total. Like I say, Harris went under the total as well. We go to Brian.
Cowboys defensive line on run plays are getting pushed back 5 yards just about every time. And Atlanta's offensive line is pretty decent. Dallas played with San Francisco for a half, but then they gave up 3 touchdowns in the third quarter, and they only got 16 yards on offense in the third quarter. Atlanta, I said last week I thought Cousins would throw for 400 or 500 yards. I don't think he quite did that, but he did throw for 4 touchdowns against Tampa Bay. Kyle Pitts got 2 touchdowns. Last week was NFL tight end day. Tight ends had 15 touchdowns last week. I've got Dallas losing to Atlanta 28-26.
All right, so you'll take the Cowboys. 28-26 is 54, and you'll go with the over and you'll take the Cowboys. So two and a hook. Tim.
Yeah, sadly we haven't heard much of Bijan Robinson for this whole season, at least maybe because I don't pay attention to the Falcons that much, but it seems like it's all Kirk Cousins. How about we get a Bijan game going here?
Yeah, it should be.
Hopefully this will be even a short yardage for Bijan. And well, I think this might be the time where the Falcons kind of put together 31-26 Falcons.
Tim takes the Falcons and the over. All right, we're going to Brian now. We got the Raiders going to the Bengals. You hear me right here. The Bengals are 8-point favorites in this ball game. 47. All right. Have at it, Brian.
Okay. The Raiders, Minshew is – I don't know if they're going to stay with Minshew or go to Desmond Ridder. Ridder came in for just a few plays last week, but they just got him. Yeah. So I'm not sure if they've announced who's playing. Crosby's still Max Crosby on defense, and Brock Bowers is still an outstanding tight end. Chiefs had a lot of trouble with him. Cincinnati, Higgins is questionable, so he might not be playing in Cincinnati. They've missed him when he's not on the field. Burrow's been fine, throwing for 70%, 15 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. Trey Henderson is just as good as Max Crosby on defense. Nobody else is helping much on Cincinnati's team, though. Taylor Britt had that one-handed interception 2 weeks ago against the Chiefs. That was pretty amazing. I think Cincinnati will roll over Las Vegas, kind of like the Chiefs did, 30-18.
38?
No, 30.
30-18? 30-18? Oh, okay, you take like Cincinnati. So Brian goes with the Bengals and the over. Tim.
Yeah, the Raiders are just I don't know how the heck they played so well late in the season. Are they going to play well once they get eliminated from the playoffs, which is going to be pretty soon with the way they're playing right now? I'll take the Bengals 31-15.
31-15. And that is 46. So Tim will take the Bengals in the under. Harris took the Bengals in the under, and I am not. You guys know I've said the Bengals are trash. The Raiders are more trash, but still, they're not going to beat this team by 8 points. I just don't see it. 22-17. Raiders actually show up on defense this week. Bengals win, and I take the Raiders, and I go with the under on this one. Okay. We go with Tim. The Broncos and the Ravens. The Ravens are at home. They're pissed. They're 9-point favorites in this game, 44.5.
Yeah, if you'd have said in week 8 or week 9 that both of these teams would be 5-3 coming into this game, you probably have been drug tested. I mean, that's as little as probably I thought about the Broncos being 5-3. Yeah, there should be a lot of Derrick Henry, probably a little bit more of Lamar Jackson and Lamar Jackson's arm. I think the Ravens will win this one big. Let's say 31-13. That'll work.
31-13, 44. So you can have the Ravens, and you'll go under by the 44.5. So you'll go by half point. Yeah.
Player Blues Travelers right here. The hook will bring you back.
Hook will bring you back. Yeah. The Broncos, Harris has decided with the Broncos in the over in this game right here. He said they will keep it within 9 points. I'm with Tim. No, I don't think so. I just think the Ravens are a better team, man. I don't have anything against Bo Nix. I just think their coach is so overrated. I would want him on Washington. I'll say it that way. Let's just say it that way. I think he's a jerk too, on top of everything. But I'll take the Ravens in this ball game. I'll give up 9, 27-13, and I will go under the total. Brian.
Well, Bo Nix has been bringing his inner Lamar Jackson, throwing the ball and running the ball. But now he's playing the real Lamar Jackson. And that's probably not going to go well for Denver. I think the defense will wear down against Derrick Henry. Baltimore, surprisingly, has lost all 3 home games this year. They lost to Las Vegas, they lost to Washington, they lost to Buffalo. So if they win, this will be their first home win.
They didn't lose to Washington.
Oh, really?
No. They beat Washington. Let's see. They lost to Kansas City. They lost to
that was in Kansas City. That game was in Kansas
City. But they won at home against Washington. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they lost 2-0, but they're not going to lose to Denver. Although I think Denver will make it close. 25-21 Baltimore.
25-21. You'll take the Broncos, and you will go with the over, my friend.
Yeah.
All right. Coming to me now. We got some afternoon, evening games. We got the Bears heading on the road with Williams and company. Cardinals, a 1-point favorite. So Vegas is liking the Bears here. 44.5. Harris, right off the bat, I'll tell you, Harris took the Bears and went with the under in this ball game. Rob's not. The Cardinals are a different team at home. They just are. I don't know what it is. They're able to keep a footing on it turf better than any team I've ever seen play on it. 23-20, Cardinals beat the Bears. Bears lose their second in a row. I'll go under the total. Brian.
Arizona's pretty tough and physical. I think, and Kyler's playing well. I think he looks kind of funny with that big white, those big white helmets, makes your head look bigger.
The Guardians caps, yeah.
Yeah, little short legs running all over the field. That's kind of fun to watch. I had a video game one time I used to play with my son where somebody messed with Derek Thomas and made him about half the size, but had him play like Derek Thomas. That was hilarious. Kyler's playing well, and they're finding Marvin Harrison now. He had 11 catches over 100 yards, so he's going to be a regular part and a big part of that offense. Chicago's 4th on defense. And one thing I was looking at on this, though, Chicago we talked about this before the show, they got outcoached against Washington, definitely. But following losses, they're 6-3-2 against the spread. They rebound pretty well. So I'm looking at Chicago winning this game 21-20.
All right. So Brian will take the Bears, and he'll go with the under. Tim.
Yeah, I guess that's a Midwest to West trip for the Bears.
The Bears, yeah.
The Bears. And you know that they're going to have special attention to detail coming up after this game. And Caleb won't be struggling as hard as he did in that game against the Commanders. I'll take the Bears to win, and I'll go over the total.
All right. We're going back to Brian. The Jaguars. Could this be the story of the year? The Jags with Doug Peterson. And Doug gets an exit because he's going to Philly this week, get to play. Wouldn't that be a hell of a place to lose your job a second time? The Eagles are a 7-point favorite in this ball game right now, 47.5. Brian, can the Jags win it for Peterson?
No way. There is no way. Their wide receiver core is injured. Quarterback is wishy-washy. I was very impressed with Trevor Lawrence a couple of years ago when he took him to the playoffs and lost to the Chiefs in the playoffs. Very impressed with him. He's not playing that well now. He's a different quarterback. Philadelphia, on the other hand, they've got probably the best core four in the league with Brown, Smith, Barkley, and Hurts. And now their defense is rolling, and Nakobe Dean is playing great at linebacker. I've got the Eagles winning 27-16.
27-16. So you will take the Eagles, and you will go with the under. Keith, Eagles 7-point favorites against the Jags, 47.5.
Eagles win, don't cover, and I'll go over.
All right. Tim, tell us why the Jags are going to upset them.
Only if Jalen Hurts doesn't show up. And it looks like he is. And their offense,
they still got Kenny Pickett. Now, I'm not sure Kenny Pickett's not a step up from Trevor Lawrence right now.
Yeah, that's true too. Well, I mean, if you're going to throw to A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith, and then you're going to hand the ball off to Barkley, I mean, that should be you could probably manage the ball game and get a win if you had to. But no, they're going to do a lot more than manage. You know what? I think that this may be this could be my high score of the week. 38-12.
38-12. So he'll take the Eagles and the over. Harris went with the Eagles and the over in this ball game. Rob has no reason not to go with the Eagles. That's for sure, man. 7 points, they'll get in their sleep. This will not be a ball game. And I will predict he will not be out of Philadelphia before he gets fired. And I'm talking about the Jags coach. 34-10. This is a ass whipping, and we'll go under the total with the Eagles. Keith, Bears, Cardinals. Cardinals 1 point favorite. 44.5.
I'll go with the Cardinals. I just have a feeling that there might be a little carryover from that end of that game against the Commanders.
Cardinals, I felt that too. 44.5.
Cardinals are kind of up and down, and their record reflects that. Cardinals cover under. I'll go
under. All right. Broncos, Ravens. Ravens 9 point favorites at home. 44.5.
Ravens win. Broncos cover. Under.
Under. Raiders. Bengals. Bengals are at home. 8 point favorites. 47.
Oh. Bengals win. Raiders cover the spread. And under.
All right. Cowboys, Falcons. Falcons are 2.5 point favorite at home. 52.
I keep thinking the Cowboys are going to find a way to win a game. I don't think it's going to be against Atlanta. Atlanta wins and covers, and 50 what? 52 even. I'll go under, but man, that's going to be close. That'll be close to that.
All right. Coming to me now. The Rams, Seahawks. Seahawks are a 1 point favorite. 48 and a hook. Harris likes the Seahawks to win outright, and he is going under the total. The Rams, man, I'll tell you what, they are starting to play, starting to get their stuff together, but they got too many things in their ears about this person's going to get traded, this one's going to get traded, this one's going to get traded. It's got to start working on you after a while. Seahawks are at home. They haven't played the greatest at home this year, but I think they'll put a game together right here. I don't think it's going to be a blowout by any stretch. 23-20. I will take the Seahawks, obviously, to win because it's only a 1 point. 1 point. That's pretty much a toss-up game. So I'll take the Seahawks, and I'll go under the total. Brian.
Well, the trade talk will stop next week because that's the trade deadline.
Tuesday is a deadline. Yep.
And the Rams won last week, and their rumors are kind of quieting down. I think they're looking at trying to make a run. They're in last place, but now they're coming out of their injuries. They got both the receivers back. They got Kyron Williams, and Seattle cannot stop the run. Seattle has no answers for the running game. DK Metcalf for Seattle is doubtful in this game. So I'm picking the Rams to win this game, 28-21.
28-21. And Brian will go with the over just barely. All right. Keith.
I'm with Brian. I think the Rams will win this game. I think they're the better team, healthier. And I think, Seattle hasn't, that 12th man thing hasn't really been paying off for them as well this year as it has in the past. It'll be over. I think there'll be some offense in this game.
All right.
Yeah, Geno's having a good year. He's
playing good, but they're just not as a whole team. You're right.
Yeah.
Tim.
But no Legion of Boom on defense. No. So, and with the fact that this might be the start of a train going down the tracks for the Rams. So, I mean, all the Rams have to do is win. So, yeah, well, let's pick them to win. And I'll go
48.5.
I'm going to say it's 28-21. So, I'll go above the hook.
Yeah, that's the hook. Got it. Gotcha. Well, to Brian now. Brian, probably the game of the week right here, I would definitely think. Lions, 4.5-point favorites going to the Packers. Right now, I think the Packers quarterback is questionable. Yeah, I think he is questionable going this week. Lions, you know about their injuries, 48 points. Brian.
Yeah, if he's questionable, I don't think he should play. The last time he came back from an injury, he was not ready to come back. I mean, by the third or fourth quarter, he was throwing
2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago, he was not ready.
You're right.
Malik Willis is playing great. They haven't lost anything with him in there.
No.
So I think they should let the groin injury rest this week, frankly. Yeah. Tucker Kraft, Green Bay's tight end. He's coming on. He's got 4 touchdowns in the last 5 games. He's kind of ascending, and we haven't heard as much about Laporta from Detroit like we did.
He scored last week.
He did score last week, but he's been fairly quiet this year.
Yeah.
But the Detroit's offense is not quiet. They're the most balanced team on offense. I think they're right up there, first or second best team in the league. I'm still not sure about Detroit's defense as far as winning the Super Bowl goes. Yeah. But Lauren and I watched that return from Khalif Raymond last week, and it literally looked like somebody sped up the camera on Khalif Raymond alone only, and everybody else was just moving normal motion. I mean, it looked like Khalif was in fast motion. It was amazing. Detroit is going to win this game over Green Bay, though, I think 28-21. But it should be the game of the week. It's going to be.
All right, Brian will go with the Lions and the over. And Keith.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Lions too.
4.5.
I'll say under 27 to 20.
27-20. Keith will go to Lions and under. Tim.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go on that on Lions and under train. What's the spread here?
48.
What's
4.5?
4.5. Oh boy. Okay, so I have to adjust my for. I'll say 24-17.
24-17, and Tim will take the Lions and the under. Harris went with the Lions and over. Yeah, look, they're going to start Love. And if they start Love, I'm exactly with Brian here. It's doom. Willis, I'm not sure is not the better quarterback right now, playing right now. If I was going to start him right now in a playoff game, I think I'd start Willis over over Love. Love has thrown the ball up too many times. What has he got? 8 interceptions?
8 interceptions now.
Yeah, it's terrible. It's terrible. I mean, he's got almost leading the league. He's just throwing the ball up for grabs too much. And he's not counting on that running game. They got a running game, but he doesn't use it. Willis throws the ball more efficiently. But if Love starts this game, they are going to get blown off the field in Green Bay. 33-17. I'll take the Lions. This is a one time I'm going over the total here in this ball game. I like them big. We got Sunday Night Football, which has been a flexed game. And Keith will be up now. We got the Colts playing at the Vikings. The Vikings are a 6.5-point favorite in this ball game. 45 is the total. And Richardson is out this week.
Yeah, there was some talk. I was listening to Jim Rome today, and supposedly he took himself out for a play or something, and then in the press conference afterward,
he ran the ball 2 plays in a row, and I mean he was running and stuff.
Yeah, and then he said he was tired after, and
they had to call a timeout. They were like, "What the hell are you doing, you dumb son of a bitch? You're the starting quarterback." But he was just doing like this. He looked down. And he's walking off the field like he's a running back or a wide receiver. Like, this ain't a problem at all. And I'll tell you one thing. That coach was mad. He was pissed.
It was 3rd and goal in the red zone, too.
Yeah. It took him a time out. He was mad. He was not happy.
Somehow this team is 4-4, and it just doesn't seem like they played like even a 500 team this year. I guess competition they've had. I know they beat Chicago in a game that wasn't that pretty, but Minnesota should be able to bounce back and win this game. Will it be pretty? I don't know.
6.5.
Yeah, I think that's a little too much for this game. I'm going to go ahead and say that the Colts cover, and I'll go with the under.
All right, Tim.
Yeah, I mean, let's see here. I'm sure they probably enjoy having the extra time to practice, being fun. But again, they were told this 2-3 weeks ago.
Couple weeks.
Yeah. Yeah, but this is one of the best teams in the NFC against a meh team in the AFC. I think the defense for Minnesota takes care of anything that Indianapolis has to put up. I'll say this is 33-13.
33-13, and
it's the guy that led your Broncos to the playoffs last year, Tim, that's going to be starting.
Yeah, the Broncos to the playoffs. He did.
Yeah, and that's over just by a point, 46. Harris likes the Vikings and the over right here. Look, Flacco is one hit away from being out, and then if you bring Richardson back in. What kind of – I mean, this is going to be a damn circus. It'll be a 3-ring circus if they bring Richardson back in if something happens to him. This is a recipe for disaster for the whole team of Indianapolis. You don't want to keep going one back. This is their 5th change this year. It's not good.
You think somebody's got a flare aimed at a dumpster here?
I just think – Minnesota's a better team all the way across the board. They're at home this week. Indianapolis, they're just a dumpster fire right now. You said it's 4-4. Yeah, look at who they've beaten. I mean, they've beaten the Jags. I think they've beaten the Bears. I think did they beat the Panthers in New England maybe or something like that? They hadn't beaten many people good anyway. That's for sure. They are not going to be in this game right here. 27-13, and that's being nice to the Colts. I'm not sure they're going to even score 13. I'll go under the total in this ball game all night long. Brian.
I'm going to give Indiana a little bit more credit. I don't think Joe Flacco is going to start the game 2-15 like Richardson did last week, 2 for 15. Joe Flacco's not going to tap out and say, I'm tired. And he's not easy to hurt. I mean, he's like 6'7". He's a big guy.
Yeah, he's 6'6". He's 6'6", about 245, 240.
Yeah, he's a big guy.
Yeah,
he brings a high completion percentage. He brings leadership. I've heard some coaches say that he is the most accurate deep passer that they've seen. He can throw a deep ball. And I said a couple of weeks ago, when is Sam Darnold going to turn into a pumpkin? And now they're in third place. And plus they lose Darisaw, their left tackle. Yep. They traded for Cam Robinson. But Cam Robinson is not Darisaw.
Christian Darisaw, yeah.
Yeah. Chiefs have played Christian Darisaw. We have a lot of trouble with him. We didn't have any trouble with Cam Robinson. People were trying to say in Kansas City, why don't we trade for Cam Robinson? I don't think the Chiefs wanted to, actually. I think the Chiefs, if there was any left tackle in this game that they'd like to have back, they'd like to have Fisher back from Indiana. In a long time, left tackle for us. So I think this game, I think Minnesota's going to win the game, but I don't think they're going to cover. I got Minnesota 23-22.
23-20. You want to go 1 point? One of that? That's 45 right there.
23-21.
23-21, and you're going to go under the total. Okay. Coached you to go under instead of over. All right. Mm-hmm. We're going to go to the Monday night game, and Tim, you're going to get the starters here. The Tampa Bay Bucks with the wide receiver core that no one has ever heard of is going to be starting this week, I guess. The Chiefs are 8.5-point favorites, 44.5. Tell us how the Bucks can stay in the game.
Well, the Bucs can stay at the game if Patrick Mahomes turns into interception Mahomes. If the Chiefs turn over the ball, then yes, they could definitely stay in the game. Don't think that'll happen. Just think that the Chiefs will get after Baker, and they're going to make them one-dimensional. Yeah, no creamsicle uniforms for the Buccaneers this week, but I'll say this is a 10-point victory for the Chiefs, and it will go over the total.
Over the total. So Tim just says they barely do cover. Harris has said that the Chiefs will cover and go over the total as well. Rob is not only going to say the Chiefs are going to cover, they're almost going to score that themselves this week. This is going to be the ass whipping of the week right here. Baker Mayfield throws multiple interceptions. I'm going to say 3 in this ball game. And the Chiefs, how about this one? Chiefs are going to have 2 running backs with over 100 yards each. I'm going to say that ahead of time. They're going to run this football down the Bucks' throat and then down some more. 41-6. I got Kansas City winning this game. I don't think it's going to be even close. Brian, tell us about it, bro.
Without the wide receivers, Tampa Bay is going to have to run the ball to have any chance to win. Last week, the Chiefs' run defense gave up to the handoffs to the running backs, gained Vegas like 0.8 yards per carry. I mean, our run defense has been terrific this year. They are. In fact, on that goal line stand last week, Boyd and I looked at each other and said, those guys are maniacal. They're like, they got their shoulders, they cover every gap. They got their shoulders parallel to the scrimmage. They got the ends boxing in and cutting off the perimeter. The run defense has been the best of their Super Bowl years, for sure.
Yep.
I don't know if the Chiefs will have 2 100-yard rushing running backs next week because Tampa Bay's pass defense is not very good. Yeah. And D-Hop is definitely ready to go. Mahomes threw 2 passes to him last week But he said afterward he was in 10 plays and he was probably open all 10 times. Mo said he could have thrown the ball every time.
Yeah.
So we're going to see a lot more D-Hop this week. Kansas City has 13 straight wins. They have not lost since last Christmas. I know every year the teams are different, but this team is winning. They added, I mentioned this earlier, they added Josh Uche. We have a problem with our cornerback. Justin Watson got injured. He was playing almost as good as L'Jarius Sneed was. But now he's injured out for the year. So we got to find another cornerback. That's Nazi Johnson, who's been kind of fighting injuries, or Josh Williams, who's not been playing great. But I do think he's in the house, whoever that guy is going to be. It might be Keith Traylor, who they brought up off the practice squad. But anyway, they got Josh Uche to help the cornerbacks. They want to rush the passer better. They sacked Vegas 5 times. I think this week they're going to get more than 5 sacks on Baker Mayfield. I've got Kansas City winning 27-16 Chiefs.
All right. I want to go back here. Did you have me going play over or under the total right here?
Which game?
Right here, the Chiefs.
That would be 27, so it'd be 43. It'd be under the total. I got 44 and a half total.
Yeah, and me on mine. Did you put over or under on mine right there?
I just keep the straight ups on.
Okay, 41-6. So I did have an over. I'm sorry. I think I said under in this game.
Yeah,
okay.
you're way over on the total.
All right, Brian.
There's a legend that kind of came into play last week. Chiefs are undefeated in Allegiant Stadium. When they built that stadium, there was a guy on the building crew who was from Kansas City. And one of our news stories, this was years ago, did a story about him, and he buried a Chris Jones jersey under the 50-yard line at Allegiant Stadium. It's kind of an urban legend. They said, and they brought it up on the broadcast last week. They said this is an urban legend. It's not an urban legend. He really did do that. There was a Chris Jones jersey under the 50-yard line at Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas.
Wow. Keith.
It's going to be another game. I'm going to take Chiefs win, not cover. I think it might be 7 or 8 points difference. I'll go under.
Keys will go under the total. All right. Last week, their locks. We did pretty well, except only one person didn't do too well with locks. Brian took Detroit. Click. Harris took 49ers. Yes. Rob took Kansas City. Never let you down. Mike took Denver. Yes, they took care of business. Keith took Green Bay. Yes, they took care of business.
Early.
And Tim is there. He knows Baltimore just could not take care of the Browns last week. They were just
He'll probably take that though.
Yeah, I've been in an office, so if I had been in an office, I probably made it a little easier week.
I got 18. Let's see what Brian gets at 11. And all right. So it'll be Tim, me, Brian, and Keith. Now, if you didn't watch last night's show, it's very cool because I let Harris have the first pick. I don't think anybody will take this pick, but we'll see what happens. And then next week, win or lose, he has to go last next week. So next week, he has to go last because he did get it correct this week. So, Tim, let's hope he doesn't hit your pick of the week. Your lock is
Buffalo Bills.
Buffalo Bills, and he did not take them. Oh man! You know what? There's some sitting out here just easy as candy this week, and I'm going to take one of them. Yeah. I got to take Philadelphia, man. Good night. They're just they're just running over everybody. They're going to beat the Jags probably 20 points. Brian.
I'll take Kansas City.
Yeah, but we had no reason not to think he would do that, and we still haven't hit Harris's pick, so maybe Keith won't.
Oh, gosh, I don't really see anything that I think is an obvious one. Yeah, that's a tough. I don't feel real strong about anybody at this point. Give me a moment. See where I want to settle here. What are you writing? Your guess is.
I'm saying who I think you'll take.
Oh, okay. I guess I'll go with Minnesota, I guess.
Oh, you're going to go with Minnesota, the Vikings. Now, you took your Colts in the game, but you had Minnesota win it straight up.
Yeah, but I just don't have any.
See,
Washington's on the road.
I think you're just going to take the Lions in that game. I didn't know.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Oh no! I wouldn't have taken that one.
Yeah,
but,
I thought maybe you was going to take them.
There are quite a few close games. Looks like coming up. And last week, I lost my first game straight up, but I was winning all the rest of the games, and then in the last 60 seconds of 5 games, they changed. They flipped. One of them flipped back, but I lost 4 in the last 60 seconds.
If you didn't watch a game last night, I watched the broadcast. Brian probably already knows. Keith, any idea who Harris took, or did you already watch it?
Well, I was kind of listening. I was at work.
Okay. Tim,
but I don't remember.
If I had to guess, Cowboys.
No, he took the LA Chargers against the Browns.
Okay,
I was a little surprised by that. I thought the Cowboys would be in play too. I really did. But no, nobody took the Patriots either. I mean, and then obviously, I guess the obvious straight up may have been the Bengals against the Raiders. Nobody took the Bengals. Nope. You know
I'm not sure that's obvious. I'm not sure that's obvious.
I'm not sure it's obvious, but 8 points. Some people, some people even gave it 8. 3 of us did. So
Bengals are 3-5, and Higgins is out. So I don't know.
Yeah, that's a tough one. I know. Raiders are not going to be pushovers, and I like I say that's why I took them this week. All right, Brian, the basement. Take the bottom 3 and tell us who they are.
Well, I think Tennessee is the worst team in the AFC. I'll go with them. Jacksonville has got to be dealing with a new coach here soon. I put Jacksonville down there. Let's see. Miami's future is not bright. I don't think. Tua is 1 hit away and his career is over. His career should probably already be over, actually.
Probably so. You like those 3 teams?
On the bottom, yeah.
All right, Keith.
3 worst teams right now?
Yep.
I'd probably go with the Titans, the Panthers, and the Saints.
Okay. All right. Tim.
Titans, Panthers, and Jets.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I'm going to go a little different from everybody right here. Panthers, Clearly, I think they are the worst team in the league. I think they're right there at being the worst team. It's funny, nobody mentioned New England this week. New England's getting a little bit of street cred out there because they are starting to play better. And Cleveland wasn't mentioned. How about that, Tim? You got to pat yourself on the back on that one. They actually
Watson's not there now.
Yeah, Watson's not there. So
but they got their quarterback ain't winning it for them either though right now. That's the sad part.
But Watson's not there now.
So I got to go with Carolina. I'm going with Jacksonville. Look, Jacksonville is a hot mess. They just have no friggin' clue what they're doing right now. And then I'm thinking, okay, let's say I was a Washington head coach and I want us to win 3 games in a row, and we're going to play Carolina, then we're going to play Jacksonville. Let's say we got to go on the road one more time. Take us right where we're going this week. I would just soon to play the Giants as to play anybody up there right now. I think the Giants are no better than the Jets. Cincinnati, you got that little bit of push. You moved up a little bit this week. I still think you're trash, and I still think you're going to get it proven that you're trash.
I would have said the Jets instead of the Titans. It's just they do have the veteran quarterback there that I think kind of gives me a little more confidence with them that they can win a game.
Jets, so I'll say the Giants. I still think the Jets would beat the Giants right now. I'm not sure the Titans would. I think the Titans
a fight though.
Titans and the Giants are like, yes, you put them on a neutral field, it could be 0-0 and going to overtime. So it could be a big mess there. The top 3 teams out there, I'll start you with the top 3 and we'll go around it this way. Kansas City. Kansas City is a top 3 team right now. There's no doubt about it. They're undefeated. They've played great. Everything went their way. They've done everything they could do. All right, Detroit, you won my graces now. You're up in the top 3 with me. They're my second out of my 3 right now, and I ain't giving up on these boys. Pittsburgh Steelers. You got a 2-headed monster at quarterback, and guess what? You hadn't seen any let up yet from that. They get their bye this week, and then they get to play Washington next week. A late bye, a middle season bye helps you a lot. Yeah, I know people will say, well, Baltimore's really good. Yeah, they're still behind Pittsburgh. People are going to say Buffalo, they're really good. Yeah, I still think if they played Pittsburgh, I think Pittsburgh could beat them. Minnesota's really good. There's a lot of real good teams. And Philadelphia, they're not off my radar either. I'm gonna stick with this. Philadelphia wins the NFC East before it's over with. You wait and see. Tim.
Yeah, the top 2 are pretty obvious. It's Kansas City and Detroit. But, man, to go with the third team, I will say this. Out of all the 6-1, 6-2 teams, the most impressive out of all of them is the Pittsburgh Steelers, in my opinion. So I will agree with your top 3, Rob.
Their defense is mean. They're bad boys.
They are very
bad boys. Yeah. Keith.
Chiefs, Lions, and I'm going to go with the Bills because, they've got a pretty large point differential over their opponents overall. You know, the Chargers have only given up 91 points this year in 7 games.
So 13 points a game. That's pretty
good.
good.
Yeah, really, that's kind of deceiving. Their defense has only given up 77. They've given up 2 pick sixes this year.
Yeah, well, okay. So that's even better. That's 11 points.
No, not at all. No, their defense.
Pittsburgh's given up 119. That's 4 touchdowns difference.
Yeah. You're right. They have. Then again, you also have to look at the level of competition they've played too. When you're the Chargers, you get to play the Broncos twice, and you get to play the Raiders twice. And when you see the balls, when you play the Steelers, well, yeah, you get to play the Bengals and the Browns, and you get to. So it might be pretty close there, but I think
the Bears haven't played anybody either hardly, and they've only given up 109 119 points, but that's more 91.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's been a lot going on with where they've played a lot of nickel defense back in the red zone, and they've given up field goals instead of touchdowns, which that's what you want to happen. So, yeah, Chargers not playing bad defense at all. Their offense, how many points have they scored, though? They hadn't scored 200 either, though, have they?
No.
132.
Yeah, so that's the thing right there. Their offense is not.
Yeah, well, I wasn't talking about their offense. I mean,
that's what I'm saying.
That's even more impressive because your offense isn't,
well,
really
the problem is they're holding the ball for lengths of time and stuff, but they're not getting it in the end zone. They're kicking it and keeping the other team. They're winning the field possession battle virtually every game, but they're not out offensive anybody. Brian, smile. You know who's number one.
Well, I'll put Kansas City in there, but we are not without our problems. We still have to find a left tackle. And I was even talking about with Lori, would they move Joe Tooney from left guard to left tackle? Because we do have some backup guards. Wanye did okay, better than I thought he would do. Crosby got him once or twice, but he did okay last week. People get on Juwan Taylor, but he's a decent right tackle. Not the best we've had, but he's decent.
Yep.
Now, we also have a cornerback. We got to find a cornerback. We already talked about that. Detroit, I think, scares me. And then my number 3 team comes down to Pittsburgh and Buffalo. And I say Buffalo's because I actually don't think we match up great with Buffalo right now. I think Buffalo's got more receivers than we can cover right now. I think we can score on Buffalo, but it would be a high-scoring game. I'm not sure who would win that. The Steelers, they got to play the Ravens twice. They got to play the Eagles. They got to play the Chiefs. They got to play the Commanders.
Yeah,
we're going to find out about the Pittsburgh Steelers.
We will. We will.
Yep.
Oh yeah, they're yeah. If they
Russell,
what are they now? 6-2.
Yeah.
Let's say this team goes 11-6. Let's say they go 5-3 at the remainder of their schedule.
Mm-hmm.
Are you guys sold on them, or then you think, okay, they're not as good as?
No, I 11-6 for that, right? For
them, their
their
defense is for real, for sure.
And
the quarterback's playing better than I've seen him play in years.
Oh yeah, Russell Wilson right now. There's no way you can even talk about benching Russell Wilson the way he's playing. Yeah,
I'm not trying to poo-poo on the Eagles here, but when you look at who they've played, there's not really an impressive. I mean, outside of the Green Bay game in week 1.
And that's just it. In our Super Bowl year too, their schedule was compared with our schedule that year. It was very weak that year.
They lost to Atlanta in Philadelphia. They lost to Tampa Bay, 33-16.
Yeah.
They've beaten a Saints team who hasn't won since their game against Dallas. They beat the Browns.
They beat the Bengals.
Watson was playing, and they barely beat the Browns. But then they beat the Giants and the Bengals on the road. But I mean, they haven't beaten anybody outside of the Packers in week 1 that's an above 500 ball club.
Yeah, you're right. They're just
and now they're playing the Jaguars and then the Cowboys. I mean, it's been kind of an easy road for them so far.
It has, and that who you're going to play. It just is a matter of where they put you on the schedule. You know they were going to play the Jags,
and I still don't know if Sirianni is going to keep that thing together. I can't forget what happened last year. That isn't going to leave my mind.
I've got a question for y'all.
Okay.
If I mentioned earlier, Kansas City's won 13 straight games dating back to last Christmas. Mm-hmm. If Kansas City goes undefeated through 16 weeks, Andy Reid likes?
So you're talking about 17 regular season games?
Yeah, 17 regular season games.
Yeah.
If they go undefeated up to that last game, they have a home game with Denver. Andy Reid likes to sit as starters that last game before the playoffs.
Yeah.
Do you say your starters, or do you go for an undefeated season?
Oh well, I think I think by that time we're gonna know what what Denver has too, because Denver. Let's say Denver is 8-8 or 7-9.
If we set our starters, we won't beat Denver. I don't think.
We may not, but the fact is, I'm not sure Knicks would play either. That's what I'm saying.
Well, if they're going to the playoffs, that's a question.
If they're not going to the playoffs, why would you play him then? Either way, there's a good chance by week 17 that you're not going to be. A lot of teams are not going to be playing their best stuff.
I don't know. I kind of think there's protecting your starters, but then there's also an opportunity in that game for the Chiefs to put their number 2 quarterback in there and say, hey, okay, now play as if Mahomes is injured, and you got to take us through the postseason.
Right. Yeah, number 2
get ready for this game. You go out there and win this game.
Number 2 is Carson Wentz. I'm not too sure.
Well,
I'm excited about that.
He would need, and that's the thing. Carson Wentz was in number 1 for the Eagles going into that playoffs, and he didn't win the Super Bowl for him. He didn't do it. He doesn't have it. He doesn't have it.
Nick Foles.
Foles is the only. That's a crazy thing right there. Of all of that state football stadium, there is only one bust of a player outside of that stadium, and it is not anybody but Nick Foles. That is it.
And there's probably already people walking by. Who is that?
Yeah, you got Harold.
I'm not saying the Chiefs will get there. We still got to play some good teams. We still got to play.
I got what you're saying, but
you got
Harold
Carmichael. I mean, you got Harold Carmichael. You got so many really, really, really good ball players. Yeah. Who was number 20 that was a defensive back for years and years?
Brian Dawkins.
Brian Dawkins. He played there for years. The guy, Bill Berge. Bill Berge played there. I mean, come on. They had Johnny LeMaster played there. They just had a lot of good defensive backs and played there as well.
Chuck McNard. Should be a statue of his.
Yeah. They've had so many. And then Pete Host. He was a Hall of Fame receiver
Reggie
as well.
White, Jerome Brown, yeah.
Sonny Jurgensen played for the Eagles for a while.
Who was their quarterback in the early 70s, late 60s?
Was it the guy that was with the Giants? Doug? No, was it Doug something? He was a big guy. He's built like a real big guy. What was his name?
Give me a year, Keith.
Huh?
73.
73.
Yeah.
So they were 5-8-1 that year.
Well, they had Tarkenton at one time, didn't they?
Yeah, but that was just
Roman Gabriel.
Roman Gabriel. That's who I was thinking about.
Yeah.
He was a really big guy too, Roman Gabriel. And they've had Jaworski's probably the most famous quarterback they ever had. I don't know. I may be wrong there. Since 70 anyway, I would say it last.
Gabriel was more successful, I guess, with the Rams. I mean, he played
right.
But
they've had different quarterbacks and all these different receivers and different running backs and everything. Wilbert Montgomery and
Randall Cunningham.
Huh?
Randall Cunningham, Reggie White.
Yeah. Oh, Donovan McNabb, and then the Louse, the guy wide receiver. He's a Hall of Famer, but I mean,
Seth
he played
Joyner was a good player there.
He had one hell of a Super Bowl. I'll give him that.
Mm-hmm.
Keith Jackson, tight end.
Yeah, they've had a lot of
tight ends. Have never been anything to write home about, but
who was that?
The tight end position for the Eagles has never been anything to write home.
No, it hasn't.
Well, they got a good one now. Dallas Goedert's a good tight end.
Right.
Goddard's pretty good, but probably Zach Ertz has been one of the best ever.
Right.
Zach Ertz, and he since he's went to Washington, he's really set himself up to be a good possession receiver, and they need that because they got some guys who can run down the field, but they
There's a little restaurant or diner down the road here, has a signed picture from Chris Boniol hanging up in there.
Kicker, Chris Boniol, the kicker.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Cowboy and Eagle.
yeah. They've had so many
Broncos and Giants.
players over the years, and I was up there during the Mike Vick situation, and that was all hell breaking loose every kind of way possible. We can't have this, and I mean, there were people walking the streets of Philadelphia and ready to fight over that situation. You know, anybody wearing a number 7 jersey, yeah, they were ready to beat your ass.
Did they like Jim McMahon up there?
Jim McMahon, a lot of people like Jim McMahon. A lot of people did, and there's some people that still dress like Jim McMahon. They got number 9 jerseys and stuff. Yeah, they liked him.
Doug Peterson played there for a little bit, didn't he?
And now he's going to get fired there. So
Jacksonville, he was fired there. He was a coach.
Well, I'm saying he's going to get fired while he's in Philadelphia. He might be.
I got you.
He lives in Jersey, so they'll just save him some gas money. They'll just say, keep your ass there and go across the bridge. Yeah.
Now speaking of Sonny Jurgensen, the old Eagles quarterback.
Yeah, and
Dan Mattingly, his dad was a good basketball player, but his dad had played pickup basketball with Sonny Jurgensen, and he said that Sonny Jurgensen was a beast on the basketball court. Didn't look athletic at all, but he could really play basketball.
He still calls some of the football games, I think, up in Washington. I listen to that rather than listen to.
Did Ricky Waters begin as an Eagle?
Ricky Waters
he started with the Seahawks.
He started with Seahawks, went to Philadelphia, and then went to the
49ers.
Yeah,
I think that's the way it worked.
And Charlie Garner played for both Philadelphia.
Did Waters end up being a Cardinal? Did he end up going to the Cardinals?
He might have. I think he might have, yeah.
He played for somebody else at the end, but I don't think it was a 49ers.
No, it was just actually started with the 49ers.
Oh, did he start Niners, then went to
the Eagles? Yep.
Eagles, and then went to the Seahawks.
Yep.
Well, back to the 49ers. Was he with the 49ers before the
very first?
Yeah, very first was with the 49ers.
And that's when they won the Super Bowl when he was there?
Yep. Yeah, that was his last year in San Francisco is when they won the Super Bowl.
Oh, okay.
That was with Young. Yeah.
94.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right, 94 was his last year.
29.
Yeah.
I'm too big for my – well, plus also the 49ers were in cap.
Is that when they played the Chargers, Stan Humphries?
Yeah.
Yeah. That was just one of the worst Super Bowl teams ever, I think. They were just not very.
Did you think Mike Quick was a good receiver?
Who? Mike Quick? Yes. Mike Quick, he does a lot of announcing up in Philadelphia. He was a really good Seth Joyner. He's got his own show. Yeah, he was a hell of a player too. And and then obviously that defensive line they had back in the late 80s, early 90s.
And Eric Allen was there too, wasn't he?
He's up for Hall of Fame finalist this year.
Yeah, Eric Allen.
I thought that Eagles defense was up there ranked talent-wise with the Bears that they had that with Buddy Ryan was coaching.
They were good. I'm not sure they were quite as good as I'll say this much. I think their defensive backs were faster and better coverage, but I'm not sure they could tackle as good. Like
I think with White, Reggie White, and then with the guy that died, was it Brown?
Jerome Brown.
Yeah, Jerome Brown. Yeah.
It was a Simmons.
Simmons. Yep.
I don't remember who the other
Kolek was on that defensive line.
On the other end spot.
No, he was
he was a left defensive tackle, I think.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And then
like Seth Joyner and Bill Romanowski and I can't think of the other linebacker, but and then he had Eric Allen on the corner and I can't remember.
Then, that was before number 20 came into play.
Dawkins, yeah, that
was before Dawkins, yeah.
Yeah, but they were bad. They were some bad boys back there.
Yep.
Oh yeah, they were bad. They were a tough team. I'm hoping that maybe second season comes out with. I would love a 1987 season. That year.
One problem, you got to have to card strike players.
Yeah.
That's
why they don't. Yeah, that's why they don't. 82 and 87.
Yep.
And I don't know. Washington won both of those times. They won both of them. They played real well.
Oh, speaking of that score that I gave out, that 32-8, I think it was, or something like that.
Yeah,
it was an 87 strike game that between the Redskins and the Giants was that one score.
32-8.
Brian, do you think
do
you think Neil Smith has a chance to get in?
I think he should get in. He was a big part of that defense that was so good for 10 years. I mean, he was big. He was the one that brought the flinch rule because he would flinch his leg, cause the offensive lineman to move.
Yep.
Last question before we go, guys. Obvious Hall of Famer, I think he's gonna be. First ballot Hall of Famer, Eli Manning. Tim, first ballot, yes or no?
Not first ballot, but we'll be in the Hall.
Keith.
Not first ballot. He might make it in. I don't think I would give him a vote, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure I'm there either, but because he got a Super Bowl for New York.
Yeah, it was a Super Bowl performance.
Is he a first ballot, Brian?
No.
No, I agree. I don't think he is either. And I'm with Keith. I'm not sure at all he's a Hall of Famer. When you don't have a winning record in the regular season over your whole entire career, I got a problem with that. So
yeah. Here's a guy I think that should be in the Hall of Fame from the Chiefs that's never gotten in. That's Otis Taylor, the wide receiver in the 60s. He was a dominant wide receiver. He was one of the, he was not quite Lance Allworth, but he was right up there with him.
He was good.
I suppose you could make an argument that Jim Plunkett shouldn't have been in the Hall of Fame. Was his career numbers outside of the one? I mean, they had the 2 Super Bowls and stuff, but
he had a long career, that's for sure.
Yeah, he
played.
I don't know how many years he actually started. It seemed like the Raiders were always trying to get like Mark Wilson or somebody in there.
18-year career, I think. 18.
Pastorini originally, and then Pastorini got hurt, and then they put him in there, and then
Pastorini.
I'll give you the one stat for Otis Taylor that could help him out, even with the inflated numbers today. In an 11-year career, he averaged 17 yards a catch.
Yeah.
That
is good. That is good.
Really good. He was good. I saw him catch balls one-handed in the end zone against the Redskins in 1972. He had a one-handed catch against the Redskins. He was very good yards after catch too. He could break tackles and get away.
I just lied. Final question. Yankees, Dodgers. Obviously, if the Yankees win 7, Dodgers, however many. Tim, who wins how many games?
Dodgers in 5.
Tonight, Tim. You say it's over tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Keith.
I'll just say 6. Dodgers in 6, but I don't know. I haven't watched any of it.
Brian?
Yeah, I think Dodgers in 5. It's never happened that a team's gone 0-3 and taken it beyond 5. And Cole's pitching, I know the Yankees got their best pitcher going, but how many innings is he going to throw? Last time he came out pretty early. He hasn't pitched the whole season. So he may not, if they keep him in there longer, I think the Yankees have a chance, but I don't think they will.
I'm going to say Dodgers in 6. I think the Dodgers are stacking their pitching staff and their bullpen.
They got all the relievers for tonight. All the good ones are available tonight.
Yeah, but I think they're stacking up for the game 6. I think they want to win at home. I really do. I think they're going to want to win at home.
You don't pass it up when you can get it.
No, I understand that, but I don't. I think you'll see both starters pitch 6+. I'll say that before the game starts. Both go 6+ innings. This may be the lowest scoring game of all of them. I'll say Yankees 3-1 tonight, maybe 2-1, but I think it's going to be a low scoring game tonight. Then I think the Dodgers will unload on them in game 6. We'll see what happens. For Tim, we're going that way. For Keith, for Brian, my name is Rob. Harris will be back with us maybe next week. We're hoping so. And
I'll be on vacation. I'll try to get my picks into Rob through an email or something.
Yeah, we'll do that. Was glad Keith was able to come back with us. Brian, we're glad we didn't lose you tonight. And Michael, we will try to give you an update on how Michael is doing next week. So, Michael Peterson, you're in our prayers, my friend. God bless. Be good, folks, and enjoy your week of football coming up. Bye-bye.